In a quaint little town nestled between rolling hills, there was a bakery owned by a man named Mr. Tobias. His bakery, Sweet Crumbs, was famous not just for its delicious pastries, but also for the integrity with which Mr. Tobias ran his business. Everyone in town knew him as the most honest man around, someone who would never compromise his principles for profit. One day, a wealthy businessman from the city visited the town. He had heard of the bakery's reputation and decided to see it for himself. After tasting one of Mr. Tobias's famous apple pies, the businessman was impressed. The flavor was exquisite, the crust flaky, and the filling perfectly spiced. "I must say, this is the best pie I've ever tasted," the businessman said, wiping crumbs from his mouth. "I'm willing to offer you a deal, Mr. Tobias. I'll pay you a large sum of money to mass-produce these pies for my chain of restaurants. But there's one condition: you'll need to cut costs by using cheaper ingredients. No one will notice the difference, and you'll make a fortune." Mr. Tobias looked at the businessman thoughtfully and then at the pie he had baked earlier that morning. He knew how much the townspeople loved his pies and that they trusted him to give them the best quality. "Thank you for your generous offer," Mr. Tobias said calmly, "but I'm afraid I must decline. You see, the secret to my pies isn't just in the recipe, but in the honesty and care with which they are made. If I start using cheaper ingredients, I would be betraying the trust of my customers, and that is something I cannot do." The businessman was taken aback. "But think of the money you could make. You could expand your business, open more bakeries, and become rich." Mr. Tobias smiled and shook his head. "Wealth is not measured by money alone. I'm already rich in the ways that matter most: respect, trust, and the satisfaction of knowing that I'm doing what's right. My customers come here because they know they're getting the best I can offer. I won't trade that for anything." The businessman left, puzzled by Mr. Tobias's decision, but the people of the town heard about what happened. They were deeply moved by his unwavering honesty and loyalty to them. Word spread, and more people began visiting Sweet Crumbs, not just for the delicious treats, but also for the values that the bakery stood for. Years passed, and though Mr. Tobias never became a wealthy man in the traditional sense, his bakery flourished. He had something far more valuable: a community that trusted and respected him, a sense of pride in his work, and a heart that was content with the knowledge that he had always stayed true to his principles. Moral: the story teaches that honesty and integrity are more valuable than any amount of money. Staying true to one's principles and doing what is right, even when faced with tempting offers, earns lasting respect and trust from others.